Well, g'day, I'm here with Lizzie and I'm going to show you how to do a snake bite bandage for a child. So this would be for a child or somebody with a low muscle mass. You could think of an elderly person as well, certainly for a toddler. So let's assume that the bite's happened on the hand. I'm going to take the smart bandage. I'm going to start things off around the fingers. And at this stage, I'm not making it overly tight. I want to avoid the crushed handshake effect of having to wear this bandage for hours. If it's too strong across the fingers, over time the child's going to start moving their hand to get relief, and that's going to be counterproductive. So I started off easy. I catch the thumb, I just lock that into place, and when I get to the wrist, that's when I start to make my squares. Now, because Lizzie's got quite a fine arm, you really don't need to overdo this. What you want to focus on is just getting the square or just slightly under, but really focus on your overlap. So you shouldn't be running out of bandage by the time you get to the elbow. We should easily get coverage of the whole arm here. I'm overlapping, I'm going to tension and roll it on. And you can see there that I'm really only overlapping this bandage about 5 to 10 millimeters. Tension, roll it on, keeping control of the bandage, tension, roll it on. So when I get to the end here, I'm going to have a little bit left over, which is fine. Rather than come back down, because this is a powerful or a strong bandage, it's doing the job that it's supposed to do. Rather than roll down, I'm just going to tuck it in at the top here. And that's the first stage of the first aid process. I can do a little test here on the fingers to see that she still has capillary refill. In other words, the blood flow is not cut from the limb, so the limb's going to be okay. We haven't created a tourniquet effect, and that should be just about right. I'm going to now immobilize the limb with a splint, so I'm grabbing the splint out of the kit. This is the best part of it in my view. You just roll them out, and to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to mold it, pre-mold it, just to make it a little more comfortable for Lizzie. So you can sit in there, it sits in nice and snug. Now if it was just me and Liz and I had no one else here, I'd just ask her to just put her hand there and just hold that in place for me. That's the girl. I grab the crepe bandage out. So this is not the primary bandage, this is just for attaching the splint. And I'm just going to roll that on. So you can see I've made slightly under square. That's probably about right for Lizzie. You just need to use your common sense when you're putting these on. If you've got someone with an arm like a tree trunk, obviously you're going to get the full expression of the squares. If you've got a narrow arm, you're probably going for a little bit less. I'm now just attaching the splint. So I'm not making it any tighter, I'm just fastening it in place. That goes on nice and easy. Look, I really recommend that if you've got one of these kits, pull it out, take the contents out, have a look at it, have a practice run. You know, risk management does not need to be confined to the workplace. On weekends, on holidays, you know, things can happen. So get those bandages out, have a go with your children, put it on, do the pinch test, give us some feedback. If you've got any questions, by all means, get in touch with us. And just make sure that you've got a good plan in your head for if there is an emergency, you can execute that plan. That makes all the difference. I'm re-examining the fingertips. Lovely. Still got vascular return. How does that feel?
It feels good because it's not too tight, and I think it'll keep it in place, which is good.
All right, excellent. Now I'm taking my texter and I would just mark an X on the spot to where the bite was. When they get to hospital, they can peel that away, they can take a swab of the bite. That's going to help them with the identification of the snake. The important thing now is we keep Lizzie immobilised, we keep her comfortable. I'd either have her laying down or sitting against a tree, and that's where they'd stay until the ambulance arrived. Very good. Firm as.